Now to the Ralph Lauren model who claims that she was fired for being too fat. We'll talk exclusively with Filippa Hamilton in just a moment. But first, today national correspondent Amy Robach has the tales. Amy, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ann. Hamilton was already at the center of a Photoshop flap, but now she claims she was dumped by Ralph Lauren because she didn't fit into certain clothing, an accusation the apparel maker flatly denies. It's another Photoshop flap. This ad featuring Ralph Lauren model Filippa Hamilton looking abnormally thin, with her body much smaller than her head. Hamilton, who is 23, has worked for Ralph Lauren for the past 8 years.
They photoshopped her in a way that, for me, is grotesque and makes her look like a cartoon. And the trouble is that it's damaging to her. Who wants to hire somebody that looks like that?
After the altered photo appeared on the web, Ralph Lauren issued a statement saying, in part, "We have learned that we are responsible for the poor imaging and retouching that resulted in a very distorted image of a woman's body." But now this revelation, the supermodel tells us that before the altered photo appeared on the web, Ralph Lauren told her that she was fired.
They wrote a letter and they said, "We're terminating your services because you don't fit into the sample clothes that you need to wear."
Hamilton is size 4, 5'10", and weighs 120 pounds. She says her weight has not fluctuated since she started working for the company. Critics fear Hamilton's dismissal will be one more negative influence for young women and their perception of the ideal body.
The thought of this model being too fat is laughable. Anyone who's seen her knows that she's extremely tall and extremely thin. She has a perfect, quote-unquote model body, but apparently not perfect enough.
In recent years, the modeling industry has come under fire in the debate over what's too thin. Even Self magazine, which promotes healthy lifestyles, airbrushed Kelly Clarkson to look thinner.
What kind of woman are you attracted to?
Supermodel Emmy is leading the way, away from oh-so-thin looks. With these photos of plus-size model Lizzie Miller appeared in Glamour, they drew rave reviews from real women.
I feel like when it comes to body image issues, we're almost in a one step forward, 2 steps back kind of cycle.
Ralph Lauren says Hamilton is a beautiful, healthy woman and that the Photoshop mistake only appeared in one department store in Japan. As for her dismissal, they say Hamilton was dropped for her, quote, inability to meet the obligations of her contract. Ann?
All right, Amy, thank you so much. Well, Filippa Hamilton is with us exclusively, along with Kate White, the editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So you had a multi-year contract, and this back in April, the company, Ralph Lauren, basically released you, basically terminated you, saying in this statement, "We consider her an important part of our imaging and branding. We regret that our relationship has ended as a result of her inability to meet the obligations under her contract with us." So inability to meet obligations, what are they referring to? What did you not meet? What did you not do?
I did everything that I could. I was very loyal to them, was on time every time.
So you don't know what they're talking about?
No, really, I really don't.
And you are 5'10", 120 pounds, and you say you have not gained weight under the contract. So why are you arguing, as Amy's reporting, that this termination in April was because of your body, that you had gotten too large, that you had gotten too fat?
Yeah, exactly. They said that I couldn't fit in their clothes anymore.
They said that to you?
Yeah, not to me directly, but to my agency, yeah.
Oh, so, and could you fit in the clothes anymore?
I could fit in the clothes, yeah.
So that you didn't understand this. So you're saying the clear impression was given to you is that they fired you, you say, because you were too large.
Because I was too large, yeah.
Well,
and it's very sad.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I've been working with them since I was 15 years old, since I was a teenager. So for me, they were my second family. I consider them my second family, of course, so I was very hurt about this. And I think it's not a good example. When you see this picture, every young woman are going to look at it and think that it's normal to look like that, and it's not.
Kate, what is this a common idea? I mean, tell me about the
first of all,
insides.
I'd love to offer Filippa 8 pages in Cosmos.
There you go.
But it really starts with the sample clothes because they've downsized. They're now like a 2 or a 4. And so, it some degree relates to the Kate Moss era. Before then, supermodels like Cindy Crawford and Christy Brinkley, they were really curvy, but they got skinnier and skinnier, and the clothes got smaller. And so it creates this cycle where you have to fit in the clothes to get the job, and then the models get smaller, and that's who we have to use in fashion
stories. So you're
stories.
saying we're in a bad point in the cycle in terms of the images of women in magazines today and on the runways. We are now at a point where it's moving towards Twiggy and not moving towards Cindy Crawford, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Here. And that's part of this pressure. Well, let's talk about then what happened then after you were terminated. There was this whole flat that we heard about in this last report about this digitized photograph, and that's actually, it's interesting because you say you were angry about what happened in April, but it wasn't until this picture came out that you became angry. Why did this picture make you so angry?
Because I saw my face in this super extremely skinny girl, which is not me, and it makes me sad. It makes me think that Ralph Lauren wants to have this kind of image, and I think it's an American brand, and they sponsor Olympics, and they sponsor healthy women, and it's not healthy, and it's not right.
So it's against what you think of, of the place where you've worked since you were a teenager, and now Ralph Lauren has said that it was a mistake, and it was, that it was completely inconsistent with its creative standards and brand values. Do you think that you might sue? Is there a possibility that you're going to sue over your termination?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
You're thinking about it?
I don't think so. I don't know. We'll see.
What's the takeaway then from this?
Well, I think women have to protest, and the more they protest and back it up, because sometimes women say they want real girls in stories, but often those stories don't rate as well, or if you put a heavy or celebrity on the cover, it might not sell as well. So women have to complain and then back it up with their actions and with their pocketbooks.
Well, you heard it here from Kate White and also Filippa Hamilton. Thank you so much for sticking up for yourself. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I'm sure we'll probably hear more from Ralph Lauren's part of the story as the days progresses. Thank you so much.